I've always been an atheist, and I've always been an empiricist. Really, I've never believed in ghosts or psychics or anything like that, because it's quite simple. You don't have to know much to go, really, or to just apply Occam's razor to go, is it more likely that someone's doing circus tricks, or more likely that they're talking to dead people?
That's right.
And if the latter, by what process? What do you mean talking to dead people? Aren't their voice boxes rotten? Dead people? So without a voice box, how they talk, and by what means? And if it's, it doesn't take much to be sceptical about that.
Yeah.
Why science is powerful is a new step towards being boring at dinner parties. And
with Storm.
Yeah, like Storm. Poor Storm.
So with your own performing and stuff, do you have, because with some of these sort of new agey kind of things, people move into rituals and that sort of stuff. Do you have any kind of performance rituals that you do to warm up for stage that actually work because they're behavioural based, like focusing? Or?
I don't really. I do when I'm acting. Well, I did when I haven't done any stage acting for a while, and I never had a really sort of fixed process. Now I iron my shirt and put on my makeup, and that pattern seems to put me into the right headspace.
And then you go. What about learning lines and all that sort of stuff, or creating? Is there anything that you do there?
No, I'm pretty boring, really, and it probably reflects in my work, because my work's extremely, to use the artificial division, extremely brain and not very heart. I have my moments of writing from the heart, but
you think your way through everything. When you're working out all your lines and stuff,
right.
It's a real
quite a
intellectual process.
Yeah, I'm quite a sort of quite a scientific writer rather than I'm no Bob Dylan, but and as always with taking a skeptical viewpoint, if that's the title, that suits you or whatever. I think Sam Harris is interesting on this, because Harris, obviously on the God stuff, is extremely anti-organised religion, but he's totally into transcendental meditation and stuff.
Sure.
And look, maybe he's misguided about that, but I certainly don't think it's something that everyone who has a naturalistic worldview has to find for themselves a line where they're not just crossing over into closing their mind to cool stuff. I don't have any problem with the idea of meditating or yoga or anything. I have a problem with connecting that to some concept of the afterlife or reincarnation. But I don't even have a problem with people taking acid, and I don't do any of that, but I'm completely willing to accept that taking lots of drugs and stuff will help you creatively.
Yeah. Well, it's part of a human experience, really.
It won't help me creatively, because I'm a creative nerd, but it might help you make wacky paintings. It might help you be Jackson Pollock, whatever.
Do you find, when you say you create intellectually, you must still get that buzz when all the words come together and you just go, oh yeah, I've nailed this one?
Well, I don't know if I ever feel that, but something like Storm, which for those of you who don't know, is a poem set to jazz loops stolen off Logic. Sorry, little studio in gag. That tells the story of a dinner party. You can find the link here. And when I wrote, it's basically me listening to someone talk about psychics and auras and the afterlife and all that, and then eventually snapping and going, actually, and saying all the things. Actually, I don't tend to say at dinner parties. So I try not to ruin dinner parties, and also I'm not as articulate when I don't have time to make it rhyme. But it was 25 minutes when I first wrote it. It was this rambling thing, and because I'm always inclined to justify my positions. It just, when I started bashing, it just went out this way and that way, and started talking about, Chinese medicine and, how acupuncture came to be popular simply because I think Chairman Mao didn't have money to help his people, so he just went, this ancient stuff's really good, and that kind of condescending Western, I'm into Eastern spirituality. No, you're not. You're just bored. And it went all those different directions, and I just had to tighten it, tighten it. It's like chipping away.
So it's a real process. Do you do it at the computer, or you write?
Yeah, no, on the computer.
All the computer.
Yeah, because
so
then you so I could get whole chunks and go, oh, I don't want to give that up, but I'm going to put it there, and and so I've got pages of stuff, but I find it very satisfying, but in the same way, someone's getting it.
So you say you don't really. You must get a buzz though.
When I first performed something on stage that I think might be good. I mean, that poem. It took me so long to write, much longer than anything I've ever written before, just because of me trying to condense my ideas and realizing how heavy it was. That I knew through all those hours of trying to get back and track right and all that if it didn't go well on stage, I'd just have to dump it. I mean, you have to accept that not everything you do is going to work. And so when that first went on stage and people went, I was like,
so you must have a few things that you've had to discard, and have you got your I wish these worked, or I wish I could pull these out and do them?
To be honest, usually I'm pretty prescient about that. Usually they go before they get on stage, and if I put them on stage, it means
you're pretty happy.
I've backed them. Storm was an exception because I knew it was treading the line where it wasn't satire anymore; it was just a preach. But mostly, if I decide to put something on stage, it stays.
Yeah. Of course.
For the poor audience. Yeah, that's right. It's more for me. A lot of comedians do 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and in clubs, and they build up a show. For me, it's more like a slightly wanky analogy, but more like a painter goes, "This is my latest exhibition. These are my 10
all
paintings
the things that I've worked on.
That's it. Buy them or don't.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to go paint over that now that I've done it.
Yeah. So speaking of whether people buy it or not, you're going to try and push into America? Is that the plan? Is it starting to happen?
Yeah, I've done little bits there. I mean, I went and I've sort of put my toe in 3 times, and every time I get really positive reactions. But it's really hard to build.
It's big.
A career in 3 continents at once. I mean, I'm still only getting Britain and Australia down, and I've got a kid, and I'm writing a musical this year, and so I'm just trying to work out how to do it.
I guess the web's been good in that way. Like, it is getting the name out there.
It really is. I get a lot of messages from Americans going, "Come to America." Every day, more and more people are sort of discovering me, and that's the great thing about the US is there's especially the college, that the online thing is such a massive part of their kind of culture.
Is it a matter of some way signing away something to get in with the big people over there? Like Keith Urban did. Sort of get to that point where you think, to crack it big, I've got to sell myself in some way. Do you think that could be?
I don't think that would. Yeah, I don't know. I'm certainly not going to change what I do for America, because I think what I do will suit anti-conservative Americans just fine. I mean,
I think
some of the most radical anti-conservative satire, the most radical anti-conservative satire in the world, comes out of America, despite the English and Australian snobbery of they don't get irony like we do, and bullshit.
A lot of them don't, but a lot of them do.
That's right, but a lot of Australians don't either. I don't think there's a huge cultural distinction there. They gasp at the God stuff more because culturally they're taught to be more respectful. But they like it. They just gasp, But I'm hoping to spend some time there next year. It comes down to stupid things, like people are like, "Why can't I get your CD in America?" And it's like, because I'm on this deal, and I'm meant to be releasing my DVD through that company, and that deal's not. It becomes about lawyers.
So there's business
stuff going on, and I've got an agent over there and a manager, and they're all going, "Come over and we'll make you a star," and it's mostly bullshit. Maybe some of it's true. I've just got to get over there.